That's where it was at before, like the other ones. So go 1, 2. So now I know they're both about the same. And I think that looks really pretty. So I need something to hold all these pieces together, and I think what I'm going to do is make a grid. So I'm going to make a box and bring it down. That's way too thick. So let me bring my condensed box up. I hit the letter C. And for the width, it's at 0.5. Let me try 0.1. I'm going to get rid of those other numbers and hit apply. And that does make a difference. But I don't think I want it all the way down to here. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is move it in closer there. And I'm going to right-click on it and come down to multiply. I'm going to try it this far, 0.1, make 2 of them, just to hit OK. And I'm going to hit the right arrow too, just to see how it looks. And I kind of like that look. But I think I need to bring them all in closer. So I'm going to hit the back button. I'm going to take this one and use my arrow key. Okay, I'm going to click on it again, right-click, multiply. And I'm going to try, about 9 of them, just to see what happens. Hit the right arrow at 1/10 and hit OK. And I kind of like that. I think that's kind of a neat look. Now, you're not going to see all of this down here. You'll see when I'm done. But I don't have enough, obviously, so I'm going to hit the back key. I'm going to click on it again, right-click, hit multiply, and just to save myself time, instead of making 9, I'm going to make this maybe 19. Right arrow key, hit OK. Oh, wow, was that lucky or was that lucky? So I've got extra. I'm going to go in here and just eliminate them, go to wireframe, make sure there's nothing hiding there, and there isn't. Okay, so now what I need to do is get really close to my object. And I could leave it like this, but what I want to do is click on this, and I'm going to bring it up to that leaf. And do the same thing on this side, because I'm trying to make them perpendicular. And it's not going to be, and there's a reason. It's because they are not perfectly aligned. So I need to click on that again. And that's why I said it's just trial and error. There. I think I need to bring this one down just slightly. We can clean it up after. Right now it's like a rough draft, like when you're writing a paper. So now I'll click on this one, and I'm going to bring it up to about there. I think I need to bring it down a little bit further. That looks good. Do the same thing on this one. The reason I do both sides at the same time is by the time you get to the other side, you forget what you did on the other side and you're trying to match it up. So while it's fresh in your mind, it's just easier to do it this way, for me anyway. That's decent. Like I said, we can clean it up after. I'm going to click on this one, move it up, click off of it to see what it looks like. Don't like that space showing, so I'll bring it down a little bit more. Okay, do the same thing with this one. Click on it. And just continue doing this with all of them. And like I said, I can clean some of this up. Now with this one, what I need to decide is, do I want to leave it there? Or do I want to leave it up here? I think I kind of like it up there. thing here. And you might look at it and say, why did she do that? I wouldn't have done that. I would have done it the other way. And you can, now that you know how. Okay, so now these other ones, I think I'm going to hold my Shift key and click on each one of them. And I'm going to push them all up together. Okay, and then I need to bring the center one back down again. So that'll be like a dividing line. Actually, maybe I'll bring these two back down again too. And I held my Shift key when I clicked on that. It's okay. But you can keep playing with it and playing with it and playing with it until you get the look that you want. So what I'm going to do now is take the center one, and I'm going to go to my rotate tool, and I'm going to make this 90. On my keyboard, hit duplicate and apply. And I'm going to bring it down and bring this in. That's decent. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, only I'm going to go up. I'm going to hit multiply, hit the up button, and I don't need 19. I'm thinking I might need 10 of these, and hit OK. And I have way too many, so I'm going to hit the back button. So I'm going to click on that again. And I think I had the spacing differently too. So I'm going to hit multiply, and I did. I had 0.25. So I'm going to put this, make this 0.1 on my keyboard, 0.1. And I still might need 10 now because I have them closer together. We'll see what happens. I still have a few more than what I wanted, so I'm going to click this top one and just hit my delete key until I can get my birds where I want them at. And that's kind of okay the way that it is, but I want to do something else a little different. I don't like the way this one looks here, so I'm going to move it up. And it's just all in your interpretation of what a design should look like, is really what it all comes down to. In fact, I'm looking at these, and after doing all that, I'm not even sure that I like those like that now. I kind of like it with just the grid. But, you know, that's what designing is. It's a process. In your mind, sometimes you think you see something one way, but in reality, when you go to execute it, it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be, and so you end up changing things. Okay, so one of the things that I'm not crazy about is this one. I'm going to try eliminating that. And that way the birds, they look like they're meeting. So I don't need to have every single one of these in here. I think I'm going to eliminate every other one. I could always hit my back button if I don't like the way that it looks. But I kind of like it this way. And this is how I design. Somebody had asked me, like, how do you come up with these designs? It's trial and error. I try to art journal every day to get ideas. And I think I'm going to click on this bird. I'm going to break the group, and I'm going to click on the right bird. I'm going to hit my arrow key to the right, 1, 2, 3, and the one on the left, to the left, 1, 2, 3. And I think actually he needs to go a little further because I want his tail showing like the other one does. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, and I'm still not happy. I don't like the way this looks, so I'm going to move those up too. Same thing, whoops. Same thing with this one. And I think I'm going to add another element. I'm going to go into my image gallery, and I think I'm going to try adding a heart. So Valentine's in hearts. And it needs to be a very plain one. Huh. Let's see, I must have them under shapes. Okay. Let me try there. Here's a heart, that'll work. Yeah, shrink it up a little bit and play with it. Now I think I would like this sitting on top of it, not necessarily being a part of it, but I'm going to look and see. I'll put it in black. It does kind of look nice. I think I kind of liked it the other color though, but I think I'll put that there as a base. What I'm going to do is hit Alt-Delete, I keep saying Alt-Delete, Alt-D, and have an extra one. And I'm going to take this with this bar here and center it. And this last bar here is bugging me. I'm going to delete that, and then what I'm going to do is click on each one of these, holding my Shift key down. Whoops. Try that again. I just want those bars. Okay, that's going to give me a hard time, so I need to get in closer. Let's try that again. Bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I can't see it, so I'm going to go up here and hit group. I want those grouped together. I'm going to click on the outer one holding my Shift key, and I'm going to go back to justification and center. So now I know those are perfectly centered, and then I also know that my birds necessarily are not perfectly centered, although they might be. We'll find out. Okay, I'm going to group those. I'm going to group on the outer one, and I'm going to hit center. And they were. It's just the way that it looks. And if you don't like the way it looks, guess what? You have license to change it. So I'm going to use my arrow keys and move it in closer, because I didn't like the way that it looked. Okay, now I can leave the heart there, or I'm going to use my Shift key and move it down. I think I like it there better, and that way it gives more support for these pieces in here. So I'll keep this one here. Maybe I'll change it a different color so that when I go to cut it out, I'm going to change the line color the same color, if I can get my cursor to stay there. I do all this on my mouse pad on my computer. I hate using a regular mouse, so it takes me a little bit longer. But anyhow, there's my piece, and I'm not happy with this bird up here anymore. But that's what I do. I just, whoops, I don't know why it went to that. Let's try that again. And I'm still back at my conundrum with these shapes. I'm going to try enlarging them to see if that would make a difference. Somewhat. Maybe I'll try putting another heart in there. So I'm going to click on the heart, hit Alt-D, and I'm going to shrink it up and take it up here. And we'll see what I can do here. Guess I need to enlarge it a little bit. Still not real happy with it. But I think that if I have that in a different color, that too would make it look better, but maybe not. Maybe it's just this piece right here. Maybe I just need to get rid of that because it's just not working. And I do that sometimes. So I'm going to extend this and extend this. And I hit the wrong one. This is the one that I wanted. It was right there. And this one too. I do the same thing with that. I want this one. Okay. I'm a happy camper. It needs some tweaking, but basically this is my design, and I think I'm going to stick with it. I could even take something like this and place him like he's sitting on the heart. Yeah, I kind of like that with the birds. So, and before I do anything, I'm going to make another copy of this, Alt-D for duplicate, so that I can turn that also into a pink one to lay on top if later on I decide that's what I want to do. If you don't do it now, you won't have it, because here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to group all this together. And I'm going to try this way first, where it says weld and subtract. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Go to wireframe, it did. And it's as simple as that. So I hope that this has been helpful. Have a wonderful day.